others that you're in a relationship, you're in a happy space, and you moved on. You guys decide. What do you guys think?
And how long should it be?
Yeah.
If you want, you can put how long should you wait
Good
before you
point.
post that.
Good point. Good point. Good point.
All right.
What do we got next?
Quick thing. We'll do some parenting.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So you want to ask this one?
All right. Cool.
All right.
All right.
So all the parents out there, so all the single people. I mean, you can listen if you want.
Yeah,
We'd love for you to.
Yeah, whether you're a single parent or
You might get some laughs out of this.
Yeah.
And this might even secure your non-parent living. You know what
as
I
a
mean?
matter of fact, if you guys have kids, bring them to the room right now. This is the part of the show that we encourage you and your daughter or your son to come and listen in, and we'd love to get their intake, or I would love for you to put what they think they should do at the age of being available to work. So the question is, at what age are you making your kids pay for rent, or do you let them live with you rent-free until they finally move out? So I'm sure that this is a very popular question amongst a lot of parents. I'm sure this has come up numerous times.
Even with different races.
different
everyone
races.
that handles it differently.
Yeah, I can confidently say, within the Black community, we want our kids to get out there in the workforce and start paying some bills ASAP.
Or contribute to the house.
No.
Or the household itself.
I'm not too sure how it is in the white community. Or other community, I know the Asian community may think alike, right? I don't want to put anybody in a box here, but I can speak confidently in my family scenario or in my community. When you're of age to work and you're of age to facilitate regarding paying bills, paying groceries, whatever, you should be able to. You should. That should be a welcomed responsibility. Now, the question is, though, at what age? So if your son or daughter can start working at the age of 16, right?
Okay.
Do you give them some time to start helping out, or do you want them to help right away?
Now, like most households, it all depends on how you're contributing, not necessarily money-wise, what you're doing, your part in the family. 16, I'm not expecting you to get a job. You're supposed to be in school. That is your job, like they say.
Okay.
School is your job. That is the kid's job,
Good point.
right? They go to the same, just as long as a parent does when they go to work. Oh, well, maybe not just as long, but almost like that, right? You're 9, school is what? 9 to 3? Somewhere around there, usually.
We're talking about
School.
the hours?
Yeah.
Yeah,
9 to 3,
yeah.
basically. 3:30 some places, I think.
Yep.
Not high school. I'm talking about like elementary school.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, 16, high school. Okay, we'll do high school because you're not elementary school. So high school is what? Usually what? I don't know now. When we were going was what, 8:45 or something like that to
I think it was like
2:45?
9 to like 2:40 or something.
Something like that. So we'll just say, okay, 9 to 2:40 or something like that. All right? Now, I know a regular work day is supposed to like 9 to 5, but okay, you're teenagers. You're not really going to be thinking. So you kind of that is your job. If you're doing that and you do it to the best of your ability, I'm not expecting you to always have, bring A's home. But as long as you're trying, you put your effort forward, you do all that, you listen. I expect you to get in trouble here and there, but nothing major, you know what I mean? No cops are bringing you home, not getting calls or nothing like that. You don't have to contribute money-wise. Just
Okay.
do your school. I will take care of whatever it is needed.
16.
16,
Okay, keep going.
right? 16, 7. Listen, as long as you're in school and you're doing, and that's your focus, and you're showing me this is and this is going towards what it is, whatever career you want, I have no problem taking care of the necessity things, and maybe even now and then things maybe that you want, because that, like, I can't expect you to do school and get a job. That's too much, because you have to study. You have to do all that stuff. You got to study, you got to do all that. When is the time you're going to do that? I don't want you stressing. You shouldn't be 16, 17 stressing about life that seriously. Like, all you should be stressing about is pimples, the girl that you like, if she likes you back, learning to drive, and where you're gonna hang out with your friends on the weekend. That's really should be your stress. You shouldn't be worrying about bills and food and like major food. Like you want a little snack here and there, or you want to get some junk, whatever it is. Okay, you can do any stuff. But I will take care of the basis. Provide a home, food, clothes. What I have to do.
Okay.
Right. I will do all that thing. So if you're in school, work is not really an issue for at least from 16, so maybe when you get to about 20, 21, 22, like it'll all depend on how everything's going. But if you're in school and you're doing what you're supposed to do, I would take care of it. I have no problem, and I can do it. I have no problem taking care of what needs to be taken care of, and you not having a job to contribute that way. If you're effing around and you're not doing anything, you're not going to school, or you're not taking school seriously, you're just goofing around and all that stuff, then yeah, you need to get a job.
Okay.
You need to contribute some way.
Okay. All right. All valid points. So I'm going to throw you just a little.
Yeah, that's what we got to do.
So, what if they actively do look for a job, right? So what if they're proactive? So they're 16, 17. They're mom, dad. I got a nice job at whatever, McDonald's, the movie theater, whatever store, and they're making a decent amount of money, right? And they're able to sustain a high level of grades. So they're getting 80s, they're getting 70s, they're getting 90s, they're passing all their classes, right? They don't have a girlfriend, they don't have a boyfriend, so they have $300 left.
They really have no responsibilities.
They have no responsibilities. That's my point. Sorry, good. They have no responsibilities financially. Do you at that point still expect them to contribute so they have nothing to pay for? Would you say, hey, listen, the light bill is this high?
I don't want, that's not their responsibility. I know parents, we do that, right? But it really isn't their responsibility. That's yours. That's the parents' responsibility. Like the light.
What about this? They're still eating out of house and home. The lights are on.
Okay. No. Sorry. You know what? My bad. My mind keeps reverting back. I keep looking at kids' age.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting we're doing the 16, 17 scenario.
Yeah.
But again, okay. So 16, 17.
Remember, they've taken all the responsibility to get a job.
They have a job. Listen, I'm not going to ask them to contribute.
Yeah.
If we're not struggling, everything's fine. Me and the wife are able to take care of the bills, whatever it is. No, I'm not going to ask you to contribute. You want to get a job? I'm going to let you know, listen, you don't have to. This is what you want to do. If it gets stressful and it's affecting your school, I need you to quit.
Gotcha.
Right? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Right? You want to contribute? Now, if they want to contribute, I don't want to say no, because I don't want them to possibly later on develop if other people say no. Like, I just don't want them to get a thing of not having to contribute or feeling like they don't need to offer. So they can offer. Now, if there's no issues with the money at any point, I'll take their money, but I'll put it aside.
Smart.
Or I'll tell them, you know what, save it. But now if I feel like they might have a little issue with the money, because you're making money, you're going to spend money, right? Now I see that, okay, they're not really saving. If I know they're not really saving it, then I would hold it myself. Gotcha. I'll take the money, act as if they're paying. I'm not even going to tell them I'm holding it. I'm going to take it as if they're actually paying, and I'm using it to pay the rent or whatever it is. Smart. But I'm going to put it aside and I'm going to hold it. Right? Because I can see they're not the greatest with their money, but it's not to a point where they're coming to us asking for money.
That's right.
It made me just not saving greatly. But okay. So I would do that. And then later on, when they're ready to move out or whatever they want to do, then I know, hey, I held this aside. This is for you. You can do this, or whatever it is. If they want to contribute, if things are hurting and we need a little more money and they contribute, I would try and take the least amount out of it and still try and save. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna stop them from contributing, but I'm gonna show them that I'm not gonna put the burden on them, but I'm gonna let them know, hey, listen to this. Okay, you know what you want to do? Don't worry about contributing here. Pay for your cell phone. When they get a car, okay, pay for your insurance. Let them pay for certain things.
Oh, when they get their car, they make
Definitely.
when you're in your
I mean,
if you're
you know
first
what?
year of insurance,
No. I'll put them under me because no. You know why? Because if you let them under their own, it's gonna be a shit. No, you put them under you, but you still take money from them.
right.
Until
Until that first accident and your rates go up, you might want to go on your own.
but that's life, right? Like they gotta learn that too, right? Same with you. When you were, it was the same. That's what we got. We can't forget.
Yeah, my mom ran that
Okay,
risk.
you can't forget. We were kids too. We wanted the exact same thing they're asking is what we asked for. So I can't be like, oh yeah, I'm being real strict on them when they say, listen, my mother let me use their car and all that stuff. I was under her insurance. I didn't have to pay for it myself or whatever. It was like, it wasn't dirty or anything, but it was, you still covered my portion or whatever it is. So I'm not gonna go to my child. Nope, you have a car. Nope, nope, you gotta pay for yourself. No. But I will, if they can afford to do it, I will. As I said, I will take it. They need to learn to be able to pay things. I know that, hey, the money you get from your job, all of it isn't going to you, eh? Like, it's got to go out. Like, when you get older, what you think you're making is not what you're getting. They come and take out their pocket first, and they leave you with stuff left.
And they'll learn that really quick.
Get a business first, then it's the other way around. Then they'll let you spend and then take after. But you'll learn all that later. But yeah, with my kid, with that, if you're doing you're doing your schoolwork, you don't have to worry about giving money if you have it or having to have a job. If you want to get a job, a side job that's not affecting you, boom, do that. You get a little cash on the side. Hopefully you save it up. If you can't save it, then we'll put it aside for you. Yeah. If somehow we need you to contribute to the household, we can figure that out. But I don't think you should have to contribute to the household if you're playing your role as my child and you're being a student. You're a student. You do your thing. Yeah. Don't act a fool. You want to be grown? Sure. be ready for grown stuff.
See, this is why I appreciate working with this man across from me, because you always need a dynamic of a difference of opinion. That's it. That's how things flow.
That's how it's supposed to be.
So I'm not going to say I fundamentally disagree with you.
Okay.
But I'll drive a different lane.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right, but there's some aspects that you did hit upon that do make sense.
Yeah.
And that I do agree upon.
Like
so, I agree with some things that you said, right? But I am going to say, with me, with Palia, Theo, and Joseph, whatever, if once you reach an age, and I'll agree with you, if your ass ain't in school, and you're not showing an initiative to get an education, Palia, Theo, your asses are working. There's no argument. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We can share the same last name, but you're working. If you don't want to go to school and you show no interest in getting a higher learning, your ass is going to go into the workforce and you're going to earn a paycheck, and your punishment is contributing towards the house. Now, yes, you're going to have money left over for you. It's your job. You're working.
Yeah.
You're absolutely entitled to hold back that money, but call it severe, and also call it an opening to how the real world is. You don't have an education. You don't want to go to school. I am going to take your money. I'm going to penalize you, right?
Yeah. Okay.
If you want to hold on to your money, right? If you want to hold on to your money, and you want to show that, listen, I'm working hard, I can handle my responsibilities, I can do school, and I can work, keep your money, right? You're showing the responsibility. I have no problem with you keeping your money, but you have to go to school, right?
Yeah.
So in that aspect, I'm kind of aligned with you.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas to the point where if you're working and you can juggle school and you're doing good,
tell you what,
save your money.
Yeah.
We're good. If we can handle it as parents,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Same thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And as long as you're not spending it on stupidness, understand? Like, I'm gonna admit to y'all, right? Back in the day, and as you know, I just told this guy off camera before we started filming. When did I start working? 16, 17, when I was working at McDonald's. Listen, I ain't ashamed to admit it. And all you people that are working there, I'm not going to name drop anybody, but you know who you were. Carrier Drive.
Carrier.
Albion Mall, Kipling Avenue. You guys know the location. Dixon, those McDonald's days. We were earning $6.40 an hour. Understand? And with my little $200, $300, $400 check, video games, basketball cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going on dates with girlfriends. Yo, we're taking taxis. There was no Uber back in that day. You know, taxis
Taxi or
cost
TTC,
money.
one of them.
Never cost. So these things cost money.
Walk.
So at a young age, I was stupid, right? And my grades were up to par, right? Now, if I was my own parent, and my mom did an excellent job parenting me and disciplining me, but if I was my own parent being more strict, right? I would have said to myself, right? I would have said to my younger self, all right, you're working. You're also going to school. Because you're not doing that good in school, and because you're using my lights, and because you're eating my food, I'm taking a portion of your check.
Yeah.
Now, you can see that as punishment for not concentrating on what you're supposed to be doing and spending it on frivolous, stupid stuff, right? So going back to my current situation, once my kids are of age to work, if they are doing good in school and they're earning a decent paycheck, it would be nice if they said, here, Dad, here's a little $20. Here, Dad, here's a little $40. Remember, this day minimum wage ain't the same as friggin'
No.
back in the day minimum wage.
Yeah.
Like what's the minimum wage now, by the way? What is it?
15.
15? Yo. 15, I can tell you right now what I can do at $15 an hour. Understand?
But you got to also remember cost of living has gone up too. It's not to say cost of living back then, but we're making minimum wage now.
That's very true. But
I hear what you're saying.
hold on a second.
I do hear what you're saying.
Because we know the cost of living right now, we're actually keeping our kids at home now because we know what the cost of living is outside.
Yeah.
Right? So because we know that cost of living outside is really high right now, majority of us are keeping our kids here longer, right? So they're banking all that money. If they're banking all that money, $20 is nothing. I don't know, I can't do the math, I'm not a mathematician, but $15 an hour times 8, times that 5 days a week, times that every 2 weeks, how much are you pulling in a month, right? You're telling me
as a teenager with
as a teenager,
responsibilities, yeah,
you're
that's a lot of money. That's a good amount.
You're telling me $50 is gonna hurt you, right? So
What you're saying?
to end my point, I think that definitely if you're not going to school, you're working. You're working. If you dropped out at 16, 17, 18 and you're not going to school, give me some of that paycheck. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you are working and you're going to school and your grades up to par, like you said,
That's basically it.
contribute.
That's basically what it is. And when you break it down, it's just if you're in school, be a student, put full effort, and that's all you need to focus on.
Now, if you're parents that have a 20, 25-year-old, 30-year-old at home, and they're not in school and they ain't working, this conversation's over. I don't know what you're dealing with.
That's something I don't. Yeah, unless there's some type of situation, like a medical situation, something like that. Then I understand all of those. We're not talking about that, obviously. Yeah. But if they're completely functional, able to move around, get up on their own, go around, party at night when they want to, buy drinks, whatever it is, but they're not working or they're not even like helping you. In a sense, maybe if they're not even working, but they're not doing anything around the house. Maybe they're not doing the chores. If they're taking care of the whole house, because for some reason they can't get a job, whatever it is, but they're at home taking care of the house, keeping it clean, all of that, something. You got to do something, kind of thing, right? Like,
is that okay with you though?
I'm not going to.
So they're not working, they're not in school, but they're doing chores.
I'm not going to say it's okay if you're actively looking for a job, because it is hard. It is kind of hard, right? And I would prefer for you to look for a job that you want to do or something that I know you'll keep around rather than jump to a job for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, oh, I don't like this job, I'm out. Now you're gonna jump to another job, 2, 3, I don't like this job, I'm out. If I know you're pursuing a job, you're looking, this and that, you're actually out there putting out resumes, you're getting back, and you're getting responses too. Maybe they're saying you're overqualified, maybe they're saying you're not qualified enough, but whatever it is, and you're doing that, and I'm here working, I'm like, listen, you have money, but you know what? Keep the house clean, do chores, clean the yard, whatever it is. You gotta take me to my appointment. If I can pick whatever you doing, all of that stuff, I can tolerate that. I can deal with that until you get the job. That's not gonna be for the rest of your life now.
Yeah.
That's not. It's not gonna be like, here, let me just take care of the house and no. That's not gonna happen for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But in a situation, special circumstance, we can negotiate that out. That's not gonna be an option, an everyday option. It's a special circumstance where we can use that as a payment in a sense.
Okay.
But yeah, they have a job, contribute if you can. If you can't, make sure you're doing something with your life.
Okay. Oh, kind of a segue, but still on topic. Unless you got something else to add. Want your opinion on something?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So let's just say, let's say your son or daughter get a job that is socially unacceptable. E.g., they work at a weed dispensary. So they're 17, 18 years old. They work at a weed dispensary, right? Or they work at a strip club as a waitress or a waiter, right? They're contributing. Yay or nay? I mean, it's a legit question.
Okay.
So now we're putting the type of job that they're using to help towards the bills of the house. Does that matter?
Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. So what we're talking about now, the job contributing, it's what job they have to contribute. Okay.
Gotta answer, man.
No, I know. And it's a good question. That's what you got to think about. People who just pop off. I mean, maybe they've been thinking about it for a while, but I can't. Are they home? Do you mean like this is they live at home still, or this is just aside from this has nothing to do?
Either or, it doesn't matter.
They just have a job. This is their job.
So they're working, they're in school, but they have a job that, again, I'm just naming it. There's probably
if they have to do a job that they're not happy that
it's socially unacceptable. Maybe socially.
Again, I don't care about all the time what society thinks, because a lot of stuff society will shit on, they'll agree on something else that isn't good either. So, but just an aspect of the questions you're asking for socially, you know what? I might want to be like, listen, I'll take care of you until you can find it better.
Anytime I hear this man say they might, I know that there's something coming up. All right. What if they're like 21, 22, 23? You say they're at home. Right? All right, they're at home, but they're at home working on OnlyFans. Yo, they're giving you like a good, cool $500 here.
Okay, listen, at the end of the day, okay, do your job, do what you got to do. If there's something you got to do that you don't want me to know about, then that's on you to either continue to do it or not. Like, I hope you don't.
Yeah.
But I can't, I'm not going to be the hypocrite and be
Hypocrite. You're going to go on OnlyFans too?
I'm not on OnlyFans, but
He's on
I'm not against.
He's on OnlyFans.
I mean, obviously I'm on OnlyFans. I can't tell my child now you can't be on there either. Like, shoot, let's collab, do a video. But I'm just saying.
So if they're legit
no.
if they're legit saying mom, dad,
Okay, listen.
they're legit saying mom, dad, I know you guys need help with the bills. I'm not really feeling the school thing, right?
What up, BZ? Yeah.
No, I'm not really feeling the school thing, right? I'm starting my own entrepreneurship at home on a site called OnlyFans, right? I can give you like a cool
Hey,
$500
okay. Listen, honestly, okay, like I've heard, OnlyFans doesn't have to be nude.
They're like 20.
You don't got to be
21,
nude on
22,
there, so there's no
23.
excuse for you to be on there nude. Hey, if someone wants to pay you money for you to show show your toes, or for you to chew loudly into a microphone, do you, man? Do what you got to do. I'm not gonna hate on that. I'm not gonna hate on that. I mean, okay, now if it comes, I know what you're really trying to ask. If it comes to the naked stuff or that type of controversy stuff, yo, you know what?
And they're of age.
You're grown. You're of age. You're grown.
They're grown, yeah.
I can't stop you. I can't. I'm not saying I'm not gonna shun you. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're not my child no more. I'm gonna disown you. I can't do that. I can't do that to my child. Just be safe. Like,
And make sure the rent's on time.
garner yourself. But I mean, that's if they live at home. If they're not living at home, then I really can't.
You can't say shit.
I can say something.
You can't.
No.
Fuck you mean, dad? I live with you.
You can say it. They don't have to listen to you and follow through on what you request or what you ask. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyone can say what they want. You can say what you want. It's a matter of the person's going to take in what you're saying and listen to you. They don't have to. They're not, you know what I mean? So I'm hoping you wouldn't. But if you have to, do what you can, do what you got to do. Be the best at it. Make those dollars.
Be the best.
Don't be shit. I'm sorry. You cannot be on something and be the worst at it. Wait, you're gonna show your. Hold on. Think about it. Think about it. You're gonna do these things on the internet, make no money, and what? Brag about it? What are you gonna brag about? You're not even the top in your field. You don't make any money. What are you bragging about?
If your 23, 22-year-old sibling, son or daughter is garbage at OnlyFans,
get the hell off. I will write OnlyFans, please get this person off. Delete their account. No, why are you on there? You're embarrassed. Now you're just embarrassing yourself.
You're embarrassing the family, actually.
That too, but I mean, you're embarrassing yourself. Your face is out there. Like, you know, I mean, someone can come up to me, but whatever.
Yeah.
You're embarrassing yourself now. That's what they say. If you're gonna do something, if you're gonna be the best at it.
Like, bro, like,
don't be terrible. That's it. If you're gonna be a thief, be the best thief.
Like, yo, you're sitting on OnlyFans with an ingrown toenail. Yo, the frig is that?
No, listen.
That's embarrassing.
If someone likes that and they're gonna pay,
someone likes that, there's something wrong with
if they're making money off of it, that's the whole point of OnlyFans. I'm sorry. That's the whole, it's to make fans. Don't tell me you're going on there, I just want to show my stuff. Then you can do that anywhere. The whole point is to make money. Make your money, make your dollars, do what you gotta do, and move on. Be comfortable, own what it is. Don't be embarrassed now if someone comes up to you and now you're, oh my God. No, we're not doing that. If you're gonna do something, do it all the way. If my child wants to be, I hope they wouldn't want to be on there, but if situation and they feel they need to go on there and do it, then
change your last name.
Never change your last
I'm playing with you, brother.
Do you?
I'm playing.
Honestly, you know what? Way back, you would feel this shame. But nowadays, the stuff that goes out there and the stuff that's put, and stuff people blatantly put out there on the internet just for likes and to be popular for, I don't know how long they think that's really going to last.
And
whatever you're doing is probably not even that drastic. It's
some of them make a legit coin.
They do.
And again, like you said, it's for stupid. That's not just OnlyFans. It's on anything like YouTube, Instagram. There's monetary value in certain stuff that you put out there that has no skill level attributed to it whatsoever.
No.
It's just what people are attracted to, right?
Yeah.
And so, to go along with your point, if my son or daughter want to use a modern day way of making money, e.g., the internet, as long as in a
which is the way now,
as long as it's in a tasteful, I never say tasteful, But as long as it's in a way that doesn't